You walk alone. Not because you have to, because you chose to. Because when the noise fades, truth speaks. Most won't understand it. They think alone means broken. They think silence means weakness. But you've learned better. You've lived through better. Or worse, you tried walking with others. They smiled, but their steps didn't match yours. Their loyalty had limits. Their promises had expiration dates. You trusted too soon, expected too much, got left behind with nothing but your own shadow and the weight of your name. It was never about hate, it was about truth. You looked around and no one was there when it mattered. So you stopped expecting. People are good at pretending, good at staying when it's easy, but when the storm hits, they vanish, always. That's when it hit you. The only one walking with you at your worst was you. And that wasn't sad. It was clarifying. It stripped everything fake away. It made you see clearly. You don't walk alone out of bitterness. You walk alone because solitude saved you. It taught you self-trust. It taught you silence. And silence taught you everything. Alone, you learned your limits. Then you broke them. You learned your fears. Then you faced them. You learned your pain. Then you used it. No one stood next to you when you were on the ground. So now no one stands next to you when you rise, and that's how it should be. Because if someone wants to walk with you now, they better be strong. They better keep up. You're not slowing down for anyone again. Walking alone isn't weakness. It's proof. Proof that you don't need noise to keep going. Proof that you don't need company to stay strong. While they needed crowds, you built your strength in silence. No validation, no cheerleaders, just you, and the weight you carried without a sound. You didn't fold, you focused. You didn't chase approval, you chased truth. Alone didn't break you, it shaped you. It cut through the noise, cut through the fake, left only what was real. You became your own anchor, your own reason, your own reminder that you don't need a hand to rise, you just need the will. You stopped waiting, stopped explaining, stopped justifying why your path didn't look like theirs. It's not supposed to. You learned that quiet moments hold the loudest lessons. That isolation doesn't crush you. It sharpens you, builds you, prepares you. You don't rely on backup now. You are the backup. You are the fallback. You are the plan. You've walked through fire without witnesses, crawled through nights that left scars no one will ever see. And yet you stood again and again and again. That's power. Not the kind they show on stages, the kind they never notice until it walks past them without a word. You don't scream to prove you're strong. You move quietly because your silence carries weight, and they feel it, even if they never admit it. You walk alone, but you don't walk empty. You walk with discipline, with fire, with purpose. That's the strength they'll never see coming. They thought you disappeared, thought the silence meant you gave up. They didn't know what was really happening. You were building quietly, relentlessly, alone. While they laughed, you trained. While they mocked, you planned. While they slept, you stayed awake, not with fear, but with fire. You weren't lost. You were locked in. You weren't broken. You were becoming. You kept walking when no one was clapping. You kept fighting when no one believed. And now they look at you differently, but they'll never say it. They won't admit the change they see. They won't say they're shocked by your strength, but they are. Because this version of you isn't soft, isn't slow, isn't waiting. You walk like you've bled because you have. You speak less, but when you do, every word hits harder. You didn't ask them to understand. You didn't need them to notice. But they notice now. Now they whisper. Now they watch. The silence they ignored before, it follows you now. It commands the room, because when you build in the dark, You don't need a spotlight. You are the light. You've been through nights they'll never survive, felt pain they couldn't carry for 5 minutes. But you did. You still do. And that fire, it didn't die. It got smarter, colder, cleaner. You don't burn everything. You burn what's in your way. And that's why they're nervous. You didn't come back loud. You came back focused, unshaken, precise. They said you changed. Damn right you did. You changed so much, they can't find the old you in your eyes anymore. And they never will. They see you now, not because you asked to be seen, but because you stopped hiding. Because your silence got too loud to ignore. Now they wonder, now they whisper, where did this version come from? How did you get so cold, so focused, so untouchable?
They don't remember the nights you spent bleeding behind closed doors, the mornings you dragged your soul forward when even gravity felt personal. They don't remember because they were never there. Now they want to know the story. Now they want a piece of it, but they weren't built for your kind of truth. So let them talk, let them speculate, let them sit in the comfort they chose while you carve strength out of pain. You don't explain yourself anymore. You don't justify the path. You don't need their approval. You never did. Let them watch from the sidelines. Watch your steps. Watch your moves. Watch what happens when someone rises without help and doesn't look back. You don't ask who's coming with you. You don't beg for loyalty.
You walk, and let the ones meant to walk with you prove it. You don't carry dead weight, not anymore. You've walked too far, bled too much to slow down for people who only show up when the sun is out. Now they want to return, now they want access. Let them knock, let them wait, let them realize the door they close behind you doesn't swing both ways, because this time you're not waiting. You're not hoping, you're not listening, you're watching too. Not for who speaks the loudest, but for who walks beside you when there's no crowd, no spotlight, no gain. And the ones who follow now, they follow you, not the image, not the noise. You, the silent storm. They want you to return gentle, forgiving, grateful that they're noticing you now. But you're not here to make anyone comfortable. You're not here to fit their version of who you used to be. You didn't walk through hell to come back smiling. You didn't rebuild in silence to soften your voice now. Don't shrink for their approval. Don't fold just because they say you've changed. You should have. You bled for this, crawled through nights that begged you to quit. You earned the edge in your voice, the cold in your eyes, the fire in your walk. They don't know the cost. They didn't pay the price, so they don't get to tell you how to carry your strength. They say strength looks like kindness. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it looks like walking away without a word. Sometimes it's closing doors and never checking if anyone's still behind them. You're not angry, you're clear, you're not bitter, you're aware. The old you needed answers. This version doesn't even need a goodbye. People will test your softness to see if there's a crack in your armor. Don't give them one. You learned the lesson already. You gave too much, trusted too fast, hoped too long. So now you walk with one rule. Never come back weaker than the pain that built you. You owe it to yourself to protect what you rebuilt, to guard the mind that survived when everything tried to tear it apart. This isn't revenge, it's boundaries. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You didn't get cold, you got clean, clear, focused, and you don't owe anyone the softness they failed to offer you when it mattered. Now you walk different, not louder, not faster, just heavier. Every step has weight. Every look has purpose. Every breath is proof that you made it through things they'll never understand. You don't announce yourself anymore. You let your presence speak. You let your silence fill the room. They feel it even if they pretend they don't. You walk like someone who's seen the edge and stepped back stronger, like someone who doesn't fear losing people anymore. Because you've already lost too many and survived all of it. You stopped running, stopped chasing, stopped explaining. The road ahead is yours. You don't follow signs, you make them. And the ones who matter, they'll follow. Not because you asked, because they recognize strength when they see it. You don't walk to be seen. You walk because you can, because stopping is not in your nature. You walk with your story etched into your spine, with your scars hidden in plain sight. Let the world wonder. Let them guess how you kept going. Let them talk. You don't slow down to explain. You don't turn around to prove anything. You walk forward, not perfect, but real. You walk alone, but you don't walk empty. You walk with everything you earned, everything you fought for, everything they couldn't take. That's power. Not in who walks beside you, but in who stays when you don't ask them to. And when they do show up, when they follow your pace, quiet, steady, solid, you'll know. They weren't drawn to your light, they were drawn to your walk. So keep walking. Let your steps speak. Let your presence teach. Let your silence remind the world. You never needed a crowd, you just needed your own stride.